Hey, welcome back to Panic Butter. This is Tony. Glad to have you here today. And we'll get into some strange, some creepy, some paranormal. You know, the ones we're here to see. And it's that time. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join me. Turn notifications on, and next time you'll be right back here. We're about ready to get into some weird, strange, and some creepy. This one will make you think. Might give you a serious brain cramp. Gonna start off with, is it true? Of course, that's the one for all of them. We don't know. That's why we're watching. We'll decide. Are you ready? Some spooky, some strange, and some creepy is coming up. Here we go. Oh yeah, that'll piss you off all the time.
Come on now. What the hell?
She doesn't know what to do. What?
Are you serious?
Oh yeah. Are you serious? I don't know. Seems like she's been there before, huh? Seen it before, done it before. Either created it herself or experiences it all the time. Either way, she's fed up. What do you think? Is the creepy happening in where you live? If so, let me know. We're going to get in some deep thought here. Are you ready? Yeah. Terrence has a lot to say coming up. He's pretty deep, pretty thoughtful. A lot of it. Wow. Well, you know, you just have to listen. You can't explain it to anybody, because then you both have a brain cramp. It's easier just to listen. Get it yourself. Here it comes. Let me know what you think. Ow, wow. Ooh, my head. Your brain is smoking right now, huh? There's a lot going on there. Of course, everything he's saying is pretty deep. You have to watch it all and listen to it all. And then you have the same brain cramp. You just can't get rid of it. It's always gonna be there if you follow that. But you need it. Everybody does. That's how it goes. Let's see what Jake says. He's been monitoring it and watching. Because Terrence goes off a little different here. This is pretty good. Here we go.
And we rebuilt the planet Saturn without gravity.
If what Terrence Howard has said on the Joe Rogan podcast happens to be true, then we have to rethink everything when it comes to the science of the universe that we live in.
That's why I went on that at the Emmys, and I was like, look, I've got something else to do. I've been able to rebuild Saturn without gravity, with no animation, and then they clowned it.
Of course they did.
Well, let me put it this way. All energy in the universe is expressed in motion. All motion is expressed in waves. All waves are curved. So where does the straight lines come from to make the platonic solid?
The
Platonic solids?
If you don't know what a platonic solid is, it's basically the shapes or the arrangement, the fundamental components that make up the physical world. And this is what Plato thought that they looked like. These are the building blocks of the elements of all of the things that make up the world that we live in. Plato couldn't see these molecules or atoms. The technology wasn't available at the time. It doesn't take a leap of logic to assume that the fundamentals of the universe are curvature lines rather than straight lines like Plato had suggested in the Platonic solids. Wow.
But wait,
Conjugating going on.
you thought that was it. It isn't. There's more.
No.
That gravity is only an effect and not a force. I'm putting something on YouTube
Really?
where I will build the planet Saturn without gravity and build the Milky Way galaxy
Wow.
without gravity.
Did you
On
also say
YouTube.
you're getting your star
Yeah.
on the wall?
Aren't you getting a
He's
star?
rebuilding the universe. You go, well, you get the star. So
We use the same simulator that they use at Princeton.
The simulator is called the Deep Potential Molecular Dynamics Simulator. And this thing simulates the interactions of atoms and molecules. It's developed by a guy called Roberto Carr. It handles quantum mechanical movements of vast numbers of atoms. We're talking about 100 million per nanosecond. And it tracks the movements of atoms and electrons responsible for chemical bonding. When he's used this machine to recreate Saturn, this is truly astonishing to show this recreation of a planet using harmonics.
And it has the rings with no animation and the hexagon that's observed at the very top of it, without dark matter, without dark energy, without gravity, showing that it's an outward force pushing down that creates the planet.
And there's no gravity whatsoever in this model. There's no center attractor. So it's just vortexes and two magnetic fields, a north and a south polarity, and one harmonic resonance, which is emanating a vibration in the field. In this region here where these vortexes are pointed, so it kind of just oscillates to give it a little bit of randomness in motion so that the particles will kind of interact and bounce around like smoke or water, waves in water. And then when I hit play, it does it all by itself using physics simulation. So there's no animations at all in this model. And when I play it, this is what pops out.
What? That's heavy.
holy fuck.
Wow.
And then when I look down at the top, it makes the actual hexagon that NASA has observed on the top of Saturn. Without any gravity. And you'll see that you get a surface of the sphere on the inside with the heavier particles. So the colors...
Are you basically saying, is this saying that you guys can recreate planets?
Yes, this is a particle simulation of the physics involved in making up the planet Saturn.
We couldn't do that before because they were going by Cartesian space at 90 degrees and 45 degrees straight lines, the Euclidean space that they've made up, this orthogonal or church-like space that they've generated because they wanted to promote that cross.
Mainstream science is going to kick back against this in a big way. I like someone who comes out with a new theory and they have the balls to go, hey, I think you're all wrong.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh? But it's like a ping pong ball bouncing around in your head now. Woo! It's clearing some space. You're gonna think about everything. Go there and watch it, listen, and go, man, I never even dreamed of thinking of that. Something else. What do you think? Pretty crazy. Pretty weird. But for us, let's go look at some more weird, some more crazy, some more strange. Here we go.
Somebody over there.
Over where?
Right there.
Uh-oh.
Hey! What are you doing over there?
What? Pick up your kid.
Where did it go?
Looked like it was walking the other direction. Wow. What do you think? That was pretty strange looking. If it's real, Could have just been somebody, you know, out there with them creeping around in the woods. There's a lot of that going on. Everywhere it happens. But if it is real, ooh, that's something. Because that thing shows up a lot everywhere. In a lot of different videos. All over the world. So either everybody's on the same page or it's really happening. Well, let's really move on. Here we go. Yeah. What we're about to see is, wow. If it's real, and you know, part of you says you want it to be real, but let's see. Oh my God. Here we go.
اقول لك اني بخاف بقول لك انت مش قلت هتيجي الاول ولا ايه؟ يلا اشوفك هناك ان شاء الله. السلام عليكم.
Oh shit. Oh, run. Yeah, you gotta get out of there quick. Get to the airport, get the heck out of Dodge. There, bro. If that's real, you screwed up. But so did the guy taking the chance. Ooh, not something I would have done. What about you? Would you do something like that? Didn't look like he was, you know, prepared to keep on going. Yeah, but he did keep going, huh? If it was real, oh my, somebody's gonna get to talking to. But, I don't know. That's what we have to decide. Until then, let's move on. See what's up next. Here we go.
A man who lives in a village near the Swiss Alps heard strange noises coming from the mountainous region. He decides to climb the mountain and find the source of these unusual sounds. When he gets to the top, he's immensely frightened by what he sees. This is the video he took.
Не знам да сте видни, или мисли може да съм сам овде, kao da mi se učinilo. Ne znam da ste videli, molim vas, zavratite. Da se ne vidi. Da se ne vidi mi dalje. Čini mi se kao da je mirno.
The man sees what appears to be two giant figures standing in the distance. Even more chilling, the fact figures seem to be moving ever so slightly, confirming that they weren't statues, but instead something else entirely. The man believes that these might have been angels, or an entity of some sort, as he felt a sense of peace and believed the figures meant no harm. Yet when looking at the video through an infrared lens, the figures don't appear to be fake or CGI. Whatever had been on top of this mountain seems to have actually been there. But, like always, you be the judge on whether or not something supernatural was captured. Just what exactly had been on top of this mountain?
Interesting. But hey, let's say it's real, and it's you, and you're there. Does it matter if it's supernatural or not? If it's real, the only thing you're doing is praying, oh, I hope it didn't see me. Or they didn't see me. Or hear me. I mean, that's what you think would happen. You never know. Might want to get spotted. What do you think? Creep level? Pretty high. If it's real. That's what we're here to see, though. Like the ones coming up. Here we go. What they find in Antarctica? And are they hiding anything? You know. You want to take a trip down there? Go check it out? Let me know. Would you? Here we go.
U.S. Special Forces encountered giants in Antarctica. You heard it here first. It was the early 2000s, right around the same time as the Kandahar Giant, when a team of Navy SEALs was called to Antarctica. Their mission was to plunge deep into the ice shelf and explore ruins recently discovered by ground-penetrating radar. Upon arrival at the site, they would begin their descent down a large pre-drilled hole that would open up into a cavern. As soon as their boots hit the ground, they would quickly realize the cavern was actually a massive megalithic structure. Structures were thousands of years old, and they believed them to be built by the ancient builder race, same ones who built the pyramids. Amazed, they began exploring, eventually stumbling upon a large door. One of the SEALs would approach the door and touch it with his hand. To their surprise, it began shifting, almost as if powered by anti-gravity. The 30-foot door would move back and to the side, letting them into the corridor. In utter disbelief, they decide to split up into groups of 2. They cautiously make their way around the room, noticing hieroglyphs of which they had never seen before. As they sweep the area, senses heightened, one of the men yells, "Guys, come look at this!" As the rest of the team approaches this portion of the structure, they instantly notice the super advanced tech, and their comrades staring at a large crystal chamber. They brush a layer of frost off that has accumulated over thousands of years. And inside, they see it. Approximately 14 to 16 feet tall. Its massive frame towering over the moon. Its eyes still open, with a fierce look on its face, almost as if it's staring at them. The warm blood running through their veins turns cold. As it is said, when a soldier first experiences these beings, it changes them. They will never be the same, but some take it better than others. It is reported that some soldiers lose their head completely upon sight. They simply cannot handle it. They have to back out. Others' hair is turned completely gray in an instant. They are simply that afraid. As they're pondering over what they're looking at, one of the soldiers says, "Guys, check it out." They look over, and 2 of the chambers have already been broken through. These crystal chambers had them in stasis, and they are now waking up. That's when the lead SEAL yells out, "All right, fellas, you know what time it is. On me." They hastily start swapping off the cliff on their assault rifles. They've come prepared, as if they already knew what they were going to encounter. The rounds in these new magazines were something special. They weren't regular hollow point lead. They were actually made of pure copper. As the military and the Pentagon knew, pure copper is the only thing that kills these beasts. Anything else is futile and will not hurt them. As they're finally getting locked and loaded, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they hear a cry. And those who they turn around, one of the beasts flies from behind a megalith. It grabs one of the soldiers and slams him to the ground, killing him instantly. Second beast jumps from a ledge above, landing on another, squishing him to a pulp. "Fire, fire, fire!" They open up. Beasts run through the bullets as if they don't even touch them. The rest of the men scramble to take cover. They slide the cover and look back, they're gone. They move throughout the corridor swiftly and silently. Sorry, y'all, gotta do part 2 for this one.
Oh, there you go. That was pretty intense, huh? That's something you need to see in a movie. It's gonna be good visual. Somebody will do it. Somebody got it if it's real. Somebody will be down there if it's real. That's the whole thing. Sooner or later, something giant will show up. You know. But until then, I don't think so. What do you think? I think we should move on. See what else is happening down in Antarctica. And as always, Linda Moulton Howe has it. She has the information. Look her up. Earth Files, look her up. Till then, let's see what she has to say. Here we go.
Says, I have seen the photographs of humanoids that are based in Antarctica. And that what he has seen with his own eyes, 2 miles down under ice, are hieroglyphs that archaeologists that he was in, that was the mission, was a scientist had been in there studying all this ancient archaeology 2 miles down under the ice. And the Navy SEAL gets to walk one of these huge rooms, 9-acre rooms, ceilings. One SEAL tells me he's been there in 2012. The SEAL that I have been able to videotape, voice altered in background, He was there in 2004, so I have two completely different fields. They're describing exactly the same kind of architecture.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there too, huh? A lot of information. When you sit and you watch all this, you think, wow, it's like banging your brain around in your head. There's so much going on. You really have to pay attention. Sometimes watch it and watch it again. And then you still are just like you were before you watched it. What? I don't know. Here we go. Let's see what the last one is. If you haven't already, join me. Hit that subscribe button. Turn your notifications on and you'll be right back at the beginning with me on the next one. Till then, let's move on.
Hello, my name is Gene Gilmore. My birth given name is Eugene Reuben Akers. I don't want any money for what I'm doing because hopefully this video won't come out until after my death. So I have nothing to gain, nothing to profit by telling you what I'm going to tell you. Okay, anyway, this is the story that my dad told me on his deathbed. Project Slam Dunk was the name of this. President Johnson in 1968, okay? In Cannon Air Force Base in 1968, he said by the time he got there, that there was already 2 large hangars that were connected. There was hundreds of dump trucks that came in and dumped sand and stone, and cement powder was powdered over the top of all that to make it look like a lunar landscape. They had men that fashioned it into a lunar landscape, he said. So anyway, he said that in front of the airplane hangars was pole framing with large canvas tents that was concealing the inside of the staging area. Inside the staging area, on flatbed trucks, was uncrated the lunar lander that was reassembled back inside the hangars. All of the walls were painted flat black, and the ceilings as well. He was sworn to secrecy by the NSA, and they would put him in prison for breaking that oath. When Dad saw the moon landing on TV, he cried. He said he knew that what he had witnessed on TV was exactly what they recorded in that hangar. There was no reason for them to go flying around and everything. They had detailed high-definition photos of the landing area. Anyway, Dad was one of 3 guards that guarded the inside of the front entrance. There was a list of 15 people who could enter. No one else was allowed by order of President Johnson. And here is that list. Neil Armstrong, Edwin Aldrin, Werner von Braun, Robert Emenegger, Gene Kranz, James Webb, Joe Kerwin, Dr. Thomas Paine, Glenn Looney, Dr. Christopher Kraft, Dr. James Van Allen, General Trudeau, Lieutenant Colonel Donald Simon, and Grant Norrie. Now, the only 2 that I really have information on is Robert Emenegger. Apparently, he did a lot of video work and stuff for the Department of Defense. So the DoD did know him, okay? And the other one was Grant Norrie, N-O-R-R-A-Y, I believe, was, to the best of my dad's knowledge, was a like some FBI, CIA, NSA, who knows, something like that. Okay, President Johnson only showed up for the first day of filming. Filming lasted for 3 days, and the entire project was restored to original. In other words, the hangars were all taken apart, the sand was all removed, and so on and so forth. Dad told me all these things father to son. He also told me not to ever tell anyone what he had said, but he said on his deathbed that he had to tell somebody before he died because it was just too important not to tell. I sure as hell wasn't going to tell anybody. Yeah, I feared for my wife and me and my son, and I'll tell you why. Ever since I contacted Bart Sabrell, I think they may be listening to his phone once in a while, because I never had any problems until I contacted him and told him my story. Now, people broke into my house 2 times. I was visited by men with black suits, and I was told in no uncertain terms to drop this whole project, not to say anymore to anybody, or me and my wife and my son could disappear. My dad, he raised me by the book. I know he didn't lie to me. And as I started seeing more and more of what he was telling me was true, I realized my dad wasn't lying. Lifted the lid off my dad's case, and you can see his name is Cyrus Eugene Akers. He was born on July 17th, 1933. He died on September 28, 2002. Here's his badge, and I wanted to see if I could get as close as possible so that you can read the numbers on the bottom, which are, okay, there it is. (07596). 07596. That's my dad. And it must have been a really early picture because he's only got 2 stripes, so that was back in the 50s, I'm sure. Probably not long after I was born. And there he is. That's my father.
Interesting. What do you think? Pretty deep, huh? Gives you a serious brain cramp all the way through. But we're all wrapped up now. Thanks for joining me. If this is stuff you like, hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on, and you'll be right back at the beginning of the next one with me. Thanks for joining me. Have a good evening. Bye.